Welcome back to Living in the Word, and today we are looking at Isaac and Abimelech. So let's begin. Genesis 26 verses 1 to 5. There was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land of which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants I give all these lands. And I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give to your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So here, God instructs Isaac to stay in Gerar and not to go to Egypt during this famine. He promises to take care of Isaac and repeats the covenant promise made to Abraham. During the first famine, instead of trusting God, Abraham went to Egypt for help. And this time God instructs Isaac to stay and trust in him. For most people, the hardest thing to do is to stay and trust in God. Genesis 26 verses 6 to 11. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he was afraid to say, "She is my wife," because he thought, "Lest the men of the place kill me for Rebekah, because she is beautiful to behold." Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through a window and saw, and there was Isaac, showing endearment to Rebekah his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Quite obviously she is your wife, so how could you say she is my sister?" Isaac said to him, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people might soon have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." So now Isaac repeats the same mistake of his father, Abraham, lying about his wife being his sister. This time there is no half-truth, as was the case with Abraham and Sarah. Now, King Abimelech doesn't seem to be the same Abimelech who Abraham encountered in chapter 20. He may be his son, but the name Abimelech means "my father is king." So it is possible that it is someone else entirely, and Abimelech is just a title. So King Abimelech looks out his window, sees Isaac and Rebekah being playful in a way that would indicate a husband-wife relationship. Abimelech then decrees that no one shall harm both Isaac and Rebekah for the deceit that Isaac has displayed. Genesis 26 verses 12 to 25. Then Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. The man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous, for he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great number of servants. So the Philistines envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and they had filled them with earth. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by the names which his father had called them. Also Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarrelled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Esek, because they quarrelled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarrelled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and he pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants dug a well. Isaac has become very prosperous, so much so that King Abimelech asks him to leave. In the valley of Gerar, Isaac redigs the wells of water that Abraham had dug. The Philistines had covered the wells after Abraham's death. Isaac then moves on to Beersheba, and the Lord appears to him just as he had done to Abraham in the same place. God re-establishes the covenant that he had made with Abraham, but now with Isaac. Genesis 26, verses 26 to 31. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have certainly seen that the Lord is with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of the Lord." So he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. Then they arose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. So now here King Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, who appears to be the same Phicol which met with Abraham and the previous Abimelech, they come to make a peace treaty or covenant with Isaac after seeing how blessed and protected by God Isaac is. Genesis 26, verses 32 to 35. It came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took his wives Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. Esau is now 40, which means that Isaac is now about 100, and Esau takes 2 wives, both of who are Hittites. This reflects the lack of respect for the covenant with God. His unwillingness to be obedient to God's plan shows he cared nothing for the spiritual blessings surrounding the covenant. Otherwise, he would have married people from his own family. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. God bless.